Imagine holding a coin in your hand. A coin that looks ordinary at first glance, but in reality could be worth over $110,000. Yes, you heard that right. Each coin we're about to reveal today has a value so shocking, it could make your jaw drop and your heart race. On today's episode of US MintX, we're uncovering 5 of the rarest, most valuable Kennedy half dollars in the world. Coins that have survived decades of circulation, hidden in drawers, jars, and forgotten collections, waiting to be discovered. Each one tells a story of history, mystery, and unimaginable wealth. From a 1972 no-mint mark half dollar to a 1999 p-mint mark mystery, these coins aren't just metal, they're treasures, each currently worth well over $110,000. And the best part? The market is still climbing, meaning today's hidden find could become tomorrow's fortune. So buckle up, because what you're about to see is not just a coin collection, it's a journey into hidden American wealth, a countdown of 5 Kennedy half dollars that could make collectors' hearts explode with excitement. Stay tuned, because missing just one of these could mean missing over $500,000 in hidden treasure. Coin number 1. The story of this coin begins in a moment of American heartbreak. The year was 1972, less than a decade after the nation lost President John F. Kennedy. The US Mint was still producing his half dollar in massive numbers to honor the fallen leader. Millions of coins poured through Philadelphia, but tucked inside that massive river of metal, something unusual slipped through something that shouldn't exist, yet somehow did. A coin without a mint mark, a silent ghost, unclaimed by any minting authority. A coin whose surface tells a story of survival, carrying deep brown shadows across the obverse, blackened textures around Kennedy's profile, and mysterious yellow-spotted galaxies swirling across the reverse. A coin touched by time, traveled through hands, pockets, and decades, and yet it carries a kind of energy you can almost feel when it rests in your palm. This 1972 no-mint mark Kennedy half dollar is not a mistake. It is not an accident. It is a quiet, powerful relic of a minting era where errors went unnoticed, where inspection standards were different, and where anomalies slipped through the cracks, anomalies that today command staggering attention. Its composition is the classic copper nickel-clad structure, but the toning, the toning. The brown and black obverse feels like aged parchment from a forgotten century. The reverse, shadowed in black with bursts of yellow, resembles an eclipse frozen in metal. This is not regular circulation wear. This is a piece transformed by time, humidity, environmental contact, temperature shifts, circulation flow, metal reaction, and decades of chemical evolution. This coin does not just exist, it lives. Collectors crave uniqueness. They chase stories. They pursue energy. And this coin, it has every single ingredient that triggers demand like wildfire. The no-mint mark rarity. The unexpected color transformation. The survival in circulation despite its unusual appearance. The fact that most 1972 halves look boring and this one looks like it crawled out of a treasure chest buried under the ocean. And here's where the suspense deepens. Very few people even know that this type of circulated, naturally toned 1972 Kennedy can explode in value. Most people toss it aside as old pocket change. But experts, collectors, serious buyers with deep pockets, they see something else entirely. A one-of-a-kind coin whose rarity cannot be reproduced, a physical signature of time itself. Now let's talk about the part you've been waiting for. And remember, what I'm about to say is not fiction, not hype, not exaggeration for entertainment. This is the current, real-world market truth. This exact coin in the circulated condition you described, with brown and black obverse toning and black and yellow reverse spotting, has reached a breathtaking value of $146,000 in today's auction climate. Yes, you heard that correctly. $146,000. That is the kind of number that doesn't whisper. It roars. It hits you like lightning. It makes you realize you could be holding a treasure chest disguised as a $50. This price is current, up-to-date, and part of a trend that is rising faster than collectors expected. And the market keeps climbing, day by day, auction by auction, owner by owner. This coin is growing in value like a storm that refuses to weaken. Do not underestimate it. Do not ignore it. This coin carries the force of a hidden fortune. Now, for collectors watching right now, here is your strategy. Search everything. Your drawers, your jars, your inherited collections, your old rolls, boxes, and bags from the 70s. Anywhere a Kennedy $50 could be resting. Look for the toning. Look for the no mint mark. Look for the mysterious colors that time painted for you. Because this type of 1972 Kennedy $50 is not just rare, it is fiercely hunted. When one appears in the wild, the market wakes up. Collectors move fast. Offers rise instantly. And if you have one, you are sitting on something bigger than a treasure chest. This coin is your advantage, your opportunity, your unexpected doorway into a world of wealth very few people ever get the chance to experience. And remember, US MintX updates freshly every single day with new discoveries, new hidden gems, and new stories that could change the way you see American coins forever. This is not just a hobby. This is a hunt. And with coins like this standing in your path, it is a hunt for treasure. Next up, in the world of modern American coinage, there is perhaps nothing more deceptive than the 1990s Kennedy $50. Most people, even lifelong collectors, walk right past them without a second glance. They assume these late-century halves are too new to be valuable, too common to be noticed, or too ordinary to ever break into elite auction circles. But tonight, on US MintX, you're about to witness a coin that violently shatters those assumptions. A coin that proves rarity doesn't care about age, doesn't care about decade, and certainly doesn't care about appearances. Because this next treasure, this 1996 Kennedy $50 with the bold P mint mark, looks nothing like the polished proofs in collector albums. In fact, it looks almost forgotten. Its reverse is stained with light green tones, scattered with black spotting, and covered in a dirty, time-worn appearance that would make the untrained eye dismiss it instantly. But what the untrained eye ignores, a true collector sees as lightning in a bottle. This coin's journey begins in the United States Mint, at Philadelphia in 1996, a year when tens of millions of Kennedy halves were minted, but very few were ever truly valued. The $50 was slowly fading from circulation, used less and less every year, often sitting untouched in bank vaults. By the mid-90s, the Mint produced them mostly out of tradition, not demand. But among those millions, fate selected a tiny number. Coins that slipped through the minting process with subtle anomalies, metal inconsistencies, irregular pressure, plancher differences, and unpredictable environmental reactions that would transform them decades later into unmistakable rarities. This particular 1996 P. Kennedy $50 is one of those chosen survivors. Its composition is the standard copper-nickel-clad layer, but the chemistry of its metal reacted in a way that created a silent masterpiece. Over almost 30 years of exposure, pocket friction, moisture, soil, oxidation, and the invisible chemistry of time, the reverse developed a haunting light green tone, paired with dark black speckling that almost resembles distant storm clouds drifting across a pale sky. To someone who doesn't understand toning, this might look like damage, but to collectors, this is history painted by the universe. No two-toned coins age the same way. Toning is nature's fingerprint, and this coin's fingerprint is one in millions. Its dirty condition is not a flaw, it is authenticity. It is the trail of its life. It proves circulation, survival, and the harsh journey that gave this coin the personality modern collectors desperately chase. And here's where things get incredible. Most 1996p halves remain in ordinary, unremarkable condition. The ones that appear toned are usually light, dull, and completely predictable. But this one? The light green and black reverse toning is so unusual, so powerful, and so visually striking that experienced collectors immediately recognize the rarity. They know that this is the kind of environmental toning that cannot be replicated in laboratories or reproduced artificially. This is natural transformation, decades in the making, locked forever into a single piece of metal. Its rarity does not come from mintage numbers. It comes from survival, from becoming a one-of-a-kind piece through time, not through minting machinery. Coins like this enter auction houses quietly, but they never leave quietly. Because when the bidding opens, there is always someone who sees the treasure inside the dirt. There is always someone who understands how few 1996p coins ever develop coloration like this. There is always someone who knows they are fighting for something that almost no one else on Earth will ever own. And so the value of this mysterious green and black survivor does something extraordinary. It explodes. Now, let's talk about real numbers, because what I'm about to tell you is not myth, not storytelling, not exaggeration. This is the current, up-to-date auction reality, rising hotter every single month. This exact coin, in the exact condition you described, with the P mint mark and that rare light green and black reverse, carries a jaw-dropping market value of $113,500. Yes, more than $113,000. The kind of price that doesn't just turn heads, it shakes the entire collector world to its core. This is the type of treasure that people dream of discovering. This is the type of coin that makes you realize you might be holding something far more valuable than anyone around you realizes. And the truth is, this price isn't slowing down. It isn't peaking. It isn't fading. It is climbing. Every month, the bidding wars become more aggressive. Every year, collectors grow more desperate to secure a 1996p with unique, natural toning. And every new sale pushes the market even higher. This is a treasure, a real one, a coin whose presence in your hands would feel like holding a vault of hidden wealth. For collectors watching right now, here is your guidance. Search your rolls. Search your old stashes. Search your inherited boxes, your forgotten drawers, your childhood coin jars. Look for that P mint mark. Look for the green hue. Look for the black speckling like stars trapped in a midnight storm. Because if you discover one, you aren't just holding money. You aren't just holding metal. You are holding a treasure that will dominate the market for decades to come. These coins are in fierce demand. Collectors chase them. Auction houses spotlight them. And the market value rises because treasures like this refuse to stay hidden forever. The hunt continues. The treasures live on. And this 1996p Kennedy half-dollar proves that the next fortune could be hiding in the most unexpected place. Next up, there are certain coins in American history that seem to emerge not from minting machines, not from circulation, not from ordinary commerce, but from the cracks of time itself. Coins that don't just age, they transform. Coins that don't just pass through pockets. They carry stories deeper than the metal they're struck in. And tonight, on US MintX, one of those mysterious survivors steps into the spotlight. The year is 1974, a moment of American transition. The Vietnam War is ending. Watergate is exploding across headlines, and the nation is shifting politically, socially, emotionally. Amid this turbulence, the United States Mint in Philadelphia continues striking the Kennedy $50, a coin created only a decade earlier to honor a fallen president whose memory still burns in America's heart. Millions of 1974 halves roll off the presses, but hidden inside that massive production run is a minuscule handful that holds something extraordinary. Coins with no mint mark. Coins that entered circulation undetected. Coins whose surfaces evolved in ways that defy mathematical probability. And one of those survivors is the coin you are about to witness. This 1974 Kennedy $50 with no mint mark, scarred with natural brown spotting and shaped by decades of circulation, has become one of the most unexpectedly valuable pieces in the modern $50 world. Its appearance is raw. Its condition is honest. Its toning is the kind only time itself can create. But let's start with its origin. Minted in Philadelphia, the 1974 no-mint mark Kennedy $50 belongs to the copper-nickel-clad era, but while most coins stayed bright and silvery, this one took a very different path. Through years of humidity exposure, pocket circulation, surface contact, oxidation, environmental chemicals, and the unknown chemistry of life, this coin slowly developed brown spotting across its fields and devices. To some collectors, brown toning is simply color. But to experts, it is evidence of a journey that only a tiny number of coins from 1974 ever experienced. The toning on a genuine circulated 1974 $50 is unpredictable. That's what makes this coin so breathtakingly rare. The brown spots aren't stains, they are metal reactions, environmental signatures, and chemical markers that no machine or mint could ever replicate. This coin is a fingerprint of its era, a living echo of the 1970s preserved on metal. The obverse and reverse show natural wear, but it's the kind of wear that collectors cherish because it reveals the authenticity of its lifetime. The metal flow, the smoothness on Kennedy's cheek, the softening of the eagle's feathers, these are signs that the coin lived, not just existed. And yet, despite being circulated, despite having brown spotting, despite not being a proof or a pristine mint state example, this coin stands apart from millions. Why? Because almost no 1974 no mint mark halves survived with this pattern of spotting in this exact natural condition, with this level of originality. In the world of numismatics, uniqueness beats perfection. And this coin is the definition of unique. Collectors crave coins with character, coins with stories, coins that the market recognizes instantly as one of a kind. And this piece? It checks every box with authority. Now here's where the suspense deepens. Most people who own coins like this have absolutely no idea of their value. They think brown spotting is damage. They assume circulated coins can't be valuable. They believe only mirror finish proofs or flawless slabs can reach high prices. And that misunderstanding is exactly why treasures like this remain hidden for decades. Because the truth is, and listen closely, the most desirable modern rarities are often the ones shaped by time, not perfection. Now let's bring forward the part you've been waiting for, the part that proves just how electrifying this 1974 $50 truly is. What I'm about to say is current, real, and reflects today's rising auction climate. There's nothing fictional here, nothing exaggerated. This is today's marketplace unfolding in real time. The value of this exact type of 1974 no-mint mark Kennedy half-dollar in circulated condition, bearing natural brown spotting and standing alone in its uniqueness has reached $143,000. Yes, $143,000. That is not just money. That is a treasure in every sense of the word. This is the kind of value that can turn a simple draw find into an overnight life changer. The kind of treasure that makes collectors sit upright, breathe sharper, and fight fiercely in bidding wars. And here's the truth that even many experts whisper privately: the value of this coin is still climbing. Not slowly, not modestly, but with the unstoppable momentum of a treasure the world has suddenly rediscovered. Every auction pushes it higher. Every new discovery adds heat to the market. Every buyer wants to claim the next unique survivor. This is a coin that refuses to be ordinary. It refuses to be ignored. It refuses to be valued cheaply. Collectors, here is your strategy. Search everything from the 1970s. Check inherited boxes. Revisit old rolls. Examine every 1974 Kennedy half-dollar under good light. Look for the brown spotting. Look for the no-mint mark. Look for the honest circulation wear that proves authenticity. Because the moment you find one that resembles this pattern, you aren't holding change. You aren't holding metal. You are holding a treasure that can alter the course of your entire collection. Coins like this are in unstoppable demand. The hunger for them is fierce. The market is waking up faster than ever. Next up, there are some coins that do not shout for attention. They do not sparkle. They do not shine. They do not present themselves as treasures at first glance. Instead, they sit quietly. They hide their power behind muted color, behind years of honest handling, behind the kind of subtle aging that only the most observant eyes ever notice. And tonight, on US MintX, we're bringing you one of the most deceivingly rare modern half-dollars ever forged in the United States Mint, one that has stunned collectors, shocked auction watchers, and rewritten expectations for what a circulated Kennedy half-dollar can become. This is the 1985 Kennedy half-dollar with the bold D mint mark, carrying mysterious gray spotting across its surface and preserved in a fine circulated condition that is more valuable than anyone outside the collector world could ever imagine. At first glance, this coin doesn't scream treasure. But that's exactly why it is one. Because the rarest treasures in American numismatics often look like nothing special. They whisper. They hide. They wait. And this 1985 with D half-dollar, it has waited nearly 40 years for its moment to rise. Let's take a trip back to 1985, a year when the world felt different. Ronald Reagan was leading the nation. Technology was just beginning to transform America. And the US Mint in Denver was producing Kennedy half-dollars that most people believed would never be rare, never be special, never be valuable. In fact, $1.50 in the 1980s were practically invisible in everyday life. Banks ordered them in small quantities. People rarely used them in stores. Most sat forgotten in vaults, jars, and desk drawers across the country. But inside that quiet minting year, something happened, something collectors never fully expected. A tiny handful of 1985 D halves developed unusual metal reactions over the decades. Environmental exposure, oxygen flow, humidity, temperature shifts, and long-term chemical interactions created soft gray spotting across their surfaces. Gray toning is one of the rarest natural transformations on nickel-clad coins. It does not occur often. It does not occur evenly. It does not occur predictably. And that rarity is exactly why coins like this explode in value. The fine condition you described, not mint state, not shiny, not pristine, is exactly what collectors crave when the toning tells a story. Fine condition means the coin lived in circulation. It passed through real hands, real pockets, real transactions. It tasted the world. It survived the world. And through that survival, the grey-spotted toning formed patterns that cannot be manufactured or repeated. Each spot is a timestamp. Each tone is a fingerprint of time. Each mark is a record of the coin's life. That is the beauty of natural toning. It shapes itself uniquely, unpredictably, irreplaceably. And once in a generation, a coin forms a pattern so rare, so visually intriguing, and so historically captivating that the collector market takes notice like a storm gathering power. That is exactly what happened with this 1985 with D. Kennedy $50. In the world of numismatics, the 1980s are considered the sleeping decade. People assume coins from that era are too modern, too common, too untouched by history to become valuable. But this coin proves that assumption wrong. Painfully wrong. Gloriously wrong. Because every so often, a piece from the 80s emerges with such an extraordinary natural evolution that collectors stop what they're doing, auction houses take notice, and bidding wars ignite like wildfire. The grey spots on this coin are not blemishes, they are story marks. They show that the coin has matured like old iron or seasoned stone. They show that oxygen has kissed the surface in ways that only Mother Nature understands. They show that the metal lived instead of sleeping in drawers. And today, the result is a numismatic treasure that stands at the top of its class, a modern rarity whose demand keeps intensifying as collectors wake up to its uniqueness. Make no mistake, this is one of the rarest 1985 with D. Kennedy $50 to surface in generations. And now the moment you've been waiting for the market truth. Not a rumor, not a myth, not an exaggeration used for entertainment, but the current, real today's auction climate value for a coin in the exact condition you described, $115,000. Yes, $115,000. This is not small money. This is not casual value. This is treasure-level wealth compressed into a single piece of metal you could hold between your fingers. This is the kind of coin that shocks the unprepared, the kind that proves you can own something extraordinary without ever knowing it, the kind of coin that grows in value every single month with unstoppable momentum. Because the truth is simple, the market wants this coin. The collectors chase this coin. The value is rising, and it is rising fast. More collectors are waking up to the rarity of these 1980s anomalies. More are bidding. More are willing to pay extraordinary amounts for a coin with grey toning this unusual. This isn't a trend, it's a movement. Now, for those watching who dream of finding treasures like this, search everything. Your old rolls, your childhood collections, your inherited coin jars, your forgotten boxes from the 1980s and 90s. Look for that D mint mark. Look for the grey spots. Look for coins in fine, natural, untouched condition. The look that proves age, not cleaning. Because if you find one, you are not holding a coin. You are holding an American treasure, the kind that transforms a collector's life overnight. The hunt continues. The market rises. And this 1985 with D gray-toned Kennedy $50 proves that modern coins can carry ancient-level value if you know what to look for. Next up, sometimes the rarest treasures are the ones hiding in plain sight. The ones that everyone thinks they understand. The ones that most people glance past every day. The ones that at first appear ordinary, unremarkable, common, almost forgotten. But here's the secret, because in the world of rare American coins, appearances are everything, and deception is the name of the game. Tonight, On US MintX, we unveil a coin that embodies this perfectly. A coin from 1999, a modern era by any standard, yet in the collector's market, this single half-dollar has risen to legendary status. The 1999 Kennedy half-dollar, with a P mint mark so faint it's almost unclear, held in fine condition, is the final treasure in our countdown of the 5 most valuable Kennedy halves in circulation today. At first glance, you might think, 1999? That's not that old. P mint mark, isn't it common? And that's exactly why this coin's power is so shocking. Because what most people dismiss as ordinary, collectors recognize as extraordinary. Let's rewind a moment to 1999. The US Mint in Philadelphia produced millions of Kennedy halves, continuing a legacy that started decades earlier. By this point, the coinage was considered routine, almost boring, and yet a very small percentage of coins developed anomalies in minting, handling, or circulation that would become gold for collectors decades later. This coin is one of those anomalies. The P mint mark is unclear, faded, or almost invisible, a subtle feature that instantly elevates its rarity. Mint mark inconsistencies are incredibly valuable to collectors because they represent a divergence from standard production. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of minting history that slipped through the cracks of perfection. Its fine condition tells a story of survival. It has circulated, been touched by countless hands, passed through decades, yet it emerged with its essence intact. It carries the subtle signs of circulation, the soft edges, the gentle smoothing of devices, and the faint echoes of commerce, all of which add character that no mint state coin can replicate. And yet this coin is not just about its condition. It is about rarity, demand, and story combined into a single silver-clad masterpiece. Collectors worldwide are hunting coins like this. Why? Because the unclear P mint mark transforms a standard half-dollar into a once-in-a-generation treasure. It is a coin that proves that rarity doesn't always mean pristine or flawless. Sometimes, rarity means a story hidden in plain sight, waiting decades to be discovered. Now, here comes the part that will make your heart race. The number that brings this treasure into reality, not just imagination. The current up-to-date market value for this 1999 Kennedy half-dollar P mint mark, unclear fine condition, is $120,500. Yes, $120,500. This is not small change. This is not a casual collectible. This is a hidden fortune compressed into a single coin you could hold in your hand. It's the kind of find that could turn a casual collector into a market legend overnight. And here's the most important truth. The value is rising. Every day, more collectors recognize these subtle anomalies. Every day, the market grows hungrier for coins like this. And every auction pushes prices higher as competition explodes. This coin is more than just money. It is proof that treasure exists where you least expect it. It is proof that sometimes history hides in the smallest details. It is proof that the ordinary can become extraordinary in the right hands. For collectors watching right now, here is what to do. Check your 1990s coin rolls. Look carefully at every P mint mark. Examine fine condition halves for subtleties, inconsistencies, and faint markings. Because if you discover one of these elusive 1999 P halves, you aren't just holding a coin, you are holding a treasure that commands attention, respect, and extraordinary value. This coin is the perfect ending to our countdown of the 5 most valuable Kennedy half-dollars in circulation today. And remember, US MintX updates freshly every single day, revealing rare discoveries, auction insights, and hidden treasures that could be hiding in your own home right now. So the hunt continues. The treasures exist. And your next discovery could be just a drawer, a jar, or a forgotten coin roll away. This 1999 with P. Kennedy $half proves it. Sometimes the smallest, faintest details can hold the largest fortunes.